Shelton now serving. Again, a large number of people filing in during the changeover. Whereas John McEnroe would not play until all were seated. This match resumes. And the volley from Shelton is out.
Well, the other thing about playing against Connors, as a serve and volley type player, every time you serve, or most of the times, you've got to hit the first volley. And that gets very tiresome after a while. It puts a lot of pressure on you. You like to have a few games where at least maybe you get a couple cheap points. Jimmy doesn't give you those.
You do not get a cheap point. You have to hit a serve like that to get an easy point.
15 all.
Regina and Nathaniel Shelton watch their son.
First. It's got to be a bit of a thrill to see your son out here on the stadium court at the U.S. Open. He probably played his first match in Huntsville on some public courts a few years ago, and here he is at the U.S. Open. Very exciting. Oh, yes. That's a quick motion, too. A little bit reminiscent of that Roscoe Tanner wind-up, and he comes through that ball very quickly on the serve.
And it really throws his body out. It gets his whole weight going forward. Good snap, too.
Wide. Pretty good looking second serve too. It's got some pace on it. And watch this ball because it jumps up pretty high on this twist serve. Second serve for Bryan Shelton. Nice easy motion. Now the racket comes over the ball. His weight's well inside the baseline. He's ready to come in and volley, but Connors missed the return. Played the ball that might have been wide, but good-looking backhand volley. And so Bryan Shelton looking pretty tough here at the very start of this match.
And we're at 2-all first set.
I tell you, he has an awfully heavy serve, too. Look at how high up at the ball bounces. You can usually tell how good a serve is by the height that it reaches the backstop. And that was way over Jimmy's shoulders that time. Good first serve.
And not a bad-looking backhand volley, Beatus.
I was still in awe of the serve.
And Jimmy was, too. And when you haven't seen somebody before, now Connors has seen his serve 2 games. He knows it's going to be tough for him to break this kid.
How quickly, Beatus, when you were playing, how tough is it, or how quick can you analyze an opponent and figure out what you're going to do?
You can get a pretty good feel right away after a couple of games of whether, the player's a little bit shaky or you're going to have to make a lot of balls, get him back into play. And the tough thing about playing against Jimmy is that he's going to make you play every single ball. You're going to have to win the match. He's not going to give it to you. And unless this kid really stays tough, it's going to be a long night for him.
30. Like at this point in the set, would Jimmy be saying to himself, the way that guy lines up, I know he's going to serve out wide on certain shots. He starts to get a feel for that quickly.
Yeah, Jimmy picks up the serve very quickly because, you don't develop a service return that well without having good anticipation. And if there's one thing that really bugs Jimmy, it's getting aced. That's one thing he does not like to have done to him.
And now quickly on Connors' serve, he is to 40 love.
That's a miss hit.
So Connors holds at love, and we are on serve. 3-2 Connors in the first set.
Connors leads.
While this match progresses on stadium court, we send you over now to Jack Edwards and Ann White for an update on what's happening on the grandstand.
Thank you very much, Ted Robinson, and this is Andrea Tomasvari.
Hi, Jack and Ann, thank you. Here on stadium court, it is beginning to fill now during each changeover. More and more folks filing in to watch Jimmy Connors. Bryan Shelton serving at 15-30.
Here's really the first test. He's down on his own serve. Some pressure suddenly on the youngster. Oh. Connors taking the full swing.